Hi, I'm James. I had the JK floor heating system installed at the back end of 2020. My property, half of it was built back end of 1960, and the rest of it built in 1970. So very much traditional, brick cavity wall construction, solid concrete floors, traditional pitch roof, essentially with no additional insulation put in there. I'd wanted to put underfloor heating in when I originally installed the ground source heat pump, but I couldn't find a system that seemed to fit because I wanted very, low sort of build-up of the floors, recognising that my floor wasn't insulated. It was really quite an old property. It was originally built sort of end of 1960, beginning of 1970. So I ended up initially having to put in upsize radiators, which I did live with for a couple of years. But it really wasn't giving me what I originally wanted. I'd wanted an underfloor heating system, and then continued to do some more research, and then came across the JK system, which just seemed perfect for me because it could be installed in my existing concrete floor. So I think what made JK stand out was really that zero build-up, and actually being able to install it in that existing floor, which is, as far as I'm aware, a unique system to the UK. I didn't want that additional build-up. The overall height built-up was less than the thickness of a carpet, which really meant that I didn't have to worry about changing anything else in the building, particularly door frames, etc. And it also meant that where we were meeting a tile floor in the kitchen, which, as you know, we didn't actually install the system in there, it made it flush throughout the property. The big difference that we've seen in the house after we've had the system installed is just the overall more comfortable temperature that there is within the house, particularly in the open spaces like the hallways. You can come out of the kids' bedrooms upstairs and straight away you can feel that warmth from downstairs, whereas previously it was really isolated depending on where the radiator was. It really has seen a massive difference in that, just more comfortable throughout the house. So I think as a whole, my experience with JK floor heating was a really positive one. Right from when we were discussing the original project, what would work, what wouldn't work, where we were going to put the manifolds, the heat loss calculations, making sure that what I'd done was actually going to meet what we want. Through to the install, with the pandemic and everything else, we had to move, dates and things. But again, that all worked really, really well, and through to when you came back to just check, a couple of weeks later after it had been installed, we'd been screed just to make sure that it was performing as we all expected. I think it was absolutely the right choice to transition to the underfloor from the radiators. My only biggest regret is that I didn't do it at the time I put the heat pump in.